Hello, it's John back again with another in the Lightroom tutorial series that I'm recording for you. So we're going to look at some of these other tools that we have along the top of the basic panel here. So we have a crop tool, we've got a spot removal tool, we have a red eye correction tool, a graduated filter, a radial filter and an adjustment brush. But I just want to start off by looking at something else inside the basic panel, which is kind of an extension to the camera calibration one that I did last time, and that's to do with white balance. And if we look on the white balance section up here, we have a drop down for as shot, and what we've got is a load of presets. These presets are basically mimicking the white balance setting that you would use on your camera. So if we go for daylight, we can see that if we had a daylight white balance, that's what it would have taken. We've got cloudy, we have shade, we've got tungsten, we have fluorescent, and we've got flash. And then we've got a custom one which Lightroom will switch to automatically the moment we start adjusting the white balance ourselves. But I'm going to leave this on as shot. That's a pretty good white balance anyway. And so let's have a look at the crop tool. If we click on the crop tool, we get an overlay in here which is putting up a grid. It's split into thirds, both horizontally and vertically. So this allows us to crop our image to suit the rule of thirds. We also have something which allows us to either maintain our aspect ratio if we wanted to keep the shape that we took, or we've got some camera standard ones here. So we've got 4x5, 8.5x11, which is American paper. It's roughly A4. 5x7, which is another common size. We have 2x3 or 4x6, which is well, that's the default size for the default ratio for your camera. We have 4x3, 16x9 or 16x10, which is useful if you're doing stuff that you want to display on a TV. We can lock the aspect ratio by clicking the padlock. So now as I bring my crop tool in, my aspect ratio doesn't change. Or we can just leave that unchecked, and now as we adjust things, I can bring up actually if I just leave that locked, I'll show you, if I reduce the size, it also reduces the width. If we unlock this, I can then reduce the height, and the width doesn't happen, or doesn't change. I can bring this up quite a way actually, and in fact I'm going to do exactly that because I want to get rid of a lot of those fences in the foreground. So I'll go with that. This has produced a much more letterbox type shape. Now if you don't like the crop you've got here, don't despair, because you can go back into the crop and we can resize this to a different or adjust it to a different size. One of the things with Lightroom, as I said in one of the earlier videos, is that it's totally non-destructive. You don't need to make any changes, also any backups of your images, or create any layers. In fact, you can't create layers in Lightroom for this, because what it's doing is it's actually creating a recipe or menu, a set of parameters that will get applied to the photo when we come to export the finished image. I just want to do a little bit more cropping on this because I'd like to get rid of that little bit in there. Just bring that down to there, and I want to get rid of a bit on the edge here, so we'll just bring that into here. And we'll go with that. That's not too bad. Actually, I think I might just get a little bit more back in the foreground, something like that. And that's the crop tool. So thank you for watching, and we'll look at the spot removal tool next, which will allow us to sort out any dust spots that we might have in the photo. So thanks for watching.